experience with you. So to give you like some tips and a heads up on the things that they want you to know, okay? So first comes from, this is Clara. She's been going with us for a couple years, pre-pandemic. Now she's married. She's a pharmacist. She wanted to go this year, but she couldn't get her time off. So she can't go this year, but she has a message to share with you all, okay?
Could you use the microphone?
Is it? Do we want to start with the next person first? Yeah? Okay, so while we're trying to get the sound for Clara, the next person that I'd like to come and share is Corey. Come on, Corey.
Okay, so I'd like to preface this by saying I don't really speak Chinese. I know like very little words, but it really stood out when I went to Taiwan's missions my first time 5 years ago, 2018. And I was fortunate to have two dajies, or older sisters. Okay. So I had two older sisters help me with teaching as well as being accommodated into the classroom setting. It was very new experience for me. I didn't know what to expect, and I also didn't know how to react if kids were to talk to me. But luckily, my coworkers were able to translate for me, and I was very fortunate. However, I took that for granted my next year. I had a coworker named Ian, and when we met each other, I said, "Hello, my name is Corey," and he said, "Hello, my name is Ian," and then after that, he said, 你可以讲中文? I looked at him, I said, 我不可以, 我不可以. And then we both looked away for a second. We were hesitant on whether we can continue working together, because we're gonna work together like 5 days. And we kind of looked at our school leader. We were scratching our head, but as the Tiffany and the team saying miraculous or miracle worker, I feel like that's true. It stood out to me because we somehow made it work. What we did was that in order to convey messages between each other, we would do like hand signs, actions, in order to display what we wanted to talk about. So then it really opened up my eyes that Taiwan mission trips, for me, had impacted how I should, not expect other people to always speak English perfectly, and to also be accommodating to circumstances, because it's humid, you get tired really quickly, or at least I do. And the energy that you give to these children will be, I feel like it's like a ripple effect. It'll come back to you at one point, probably later in the week. For me, it's on Fridays. That's when these kids start to really show themselves. And yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. That was a very difficult year because he and his partner, they couldn't communicate. But God made it work, okay? So God is a miracle worker. All right, next, Stephanie, could you come and share?
2019 mission trip, and it was also my first time. At that time, I was in 8th grade actually, so I was actually the same age as a lot of the kids. Yeah, and I was also the same height. So, but it was actually like a good thing that I was the same age as the kids, because I was able to like look through their perspective in a way, and I was able to like connect with them like almost like friends instead of like teacher and student. And I think I was able to I guess just get closer to them in that way. So yeah, so whatever age you are, don't worry, God has a way. Yeah. And I just want to share about like spiritual warfare that we had in our camp for week 1. One of our friends, she had like a fever on one of the last days, and it was really hard on her because she was an English teacher, and so her Mandarin partners had to teach English, which made it kind of hard for like her team and stuff. So I just encourage you to pray every day, yeah, about missions, and that if you ever need help or anything, just we can stick to one another and pray hard. Yay!
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so next I'm gonna have Tiffany. Tiffany, can you come and share, please?
Yeah, I think like what Corey said, you really don't know. For us too, I went the same year as Stephanie to 2019, and it's kind of you really don't know what you're going into. Like you get to the camp, it's like, okay, this is your group, and right away you meet your group for the very first time. And I think in my case it was very special because I was actually the only English, only American one, and all 3 of them were from Taiwan. And not only that, one of them was a college student, one of them was a teacher, and one of them was a grandma. So, and then I was like in sophomore year of high school. So it's the most random group of people being put together, and within 24 hours we were to come up a lesson plan and just to do everything together. And I think it's just so amazing to see how God brought us together. And I think He really, in the way we communicate with each other in fellowship, it's so much more than just teaching the students. There were some bumps too, because sometimes certain person will have certain idea, or one person will be more dominant. It's just having that teamwork and really hearing each other's story and see them continue to grow throughout the 5 days. It's very special. So yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to have an open heart, to expect the unexpected, because you really never know what God will do through you and the people around you. And yeah, I think one school that really stood out to me was probably 大甲. 我有点忘记那个学校叫什么. But every day you go to 2 different schools. So in the morning you go to one school, you teach everything, you dance everything, and then you eat your lunch on the bus, and you do it all over again in the afternoon. But it's very interesting because within these 2 schools, they were only about 10 to 20 minutes away, but they were so different. The school in the morning, they had clean uniform, nice desk, they have fans in their classroom. And then the school in the afternoon, it was kind of even more PMP, even more in the countryside. So like students don't really have uniform, they're all kind of a lot more tan than the students in the morning. But throughout that, you still see how God loved them in very unique ways. I think especially the afternoon class, the class I have is, I think a lot of them were in athletic, because in Taiwan they spread team into like arts class, dance class, and then the very smart people class, where they pick all the smart people out and they make them into a big class. But for my class especially, some people actually already got pulled out because they have like straight A's, 4.0 GPA, so they put them in a very special boot camp just for learning. So these students were kind of the ones that were left behind in a way. And honestly, starting from the start, you can just see there is that hopelessness and there is that hardened heart in the beginning. And I think God is just still so merciful. There was one student especially throughout the whole 4 days, she was just like sitting there and she would just not talk, not look up, and she just looked so angry. but then even though I don't fully understand why she's so angry, but you can tell that she just have this anger in her. And other students, they're all super nice, but they were kind of scared to be close to her or don't even know how to talk to her. And I don't know why, she just stood out to me a lot. So throughout the whole week, I just every time we have activity, I just stay with her and I sit next to her. I'll be talking to her and she will just not look at me and she will just sit there. And it was so awkward to a point where the student next to her were like, "Oh, 老师你没关系的，你不用跟他讲话." But I don't know why. I just feel like she just really needed someone. I don't know. It was very special. And then on the last day for one of our dance, because on the very last day you have to do a dance of your class. I was like, okay, 大家星期五要戴一个帽子哦 like 可以戴草帽, baseball hat, any 帽子 for our prop. And I wasn't really expecting anyone to do that because they all look like, oh, I don't want to dance in front of everyone. But on the 5th day, everyone at the end of the day, they just like start pulling out 帽子从他们的包包，然后看一个帽子，再看一个草帽 all types of different hat. And at one point, I looked at the girl, and she was holding a hat. And I just felt so touched that even though for so long I thought that my kindness and my effort was kind of like going out to nothing, but it has been working through my words, through my attempt to break into her heart. And just seeing that small gesture is just so encouraging because you really don't know, like sowing the seeds, you really don't know what type of heart you will touch, and that God is really working through everything. So yeah, 加油.
Thank you so much. Okay, are we working? Yes. Okay, so Clara is gonna share a message with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Clara, and I used to go to JCCI in Hacienda Heights. I heard about the Taiwan mission trip through my younger sister Irene. I didn't go until the year after she did, with like Christina, her sister Esther, Connie Ai, and I also met other people like Tracy, Jonathan, Joanna, and some other people from the other churches. So I'll try to keep this short and tell you about my experience from that year and maybe some takeaways. So like you, I had to go through the training some months prior to the mission trip. I remember we had to come up with games to teach the vocabulary. We made crafts. We also learned like 1 or 2 dances to the songs. We even put together a night market to fundraise, and that was a blast. One thing I would recommend from teaching is to remember to pack everything. If you made flashcards, if you made games, make sure you put it all into your folder or your packet, and then remember to bring it with you to Taiwan. An extra thing that I did was purchase like 10 classroom-sized scissors like these and some glue sticks like this because I did hear that supply is limited in those schools, and because I brought it, it did speed up the craft time. So one takeaway from teaching is that class time is very precious. You want the students to have fun, but you also don't want to run out of time to do everything. The craft time always took the longest because you have to factor in like passing out materials and then making sure everyone got everything, and then you have to explain the craft, and then you have to wait for everyone to finish it. So maybe this is something that you can work out with your teaching partners. So now on to actually being in Taiwan. I went to a campsite that was known to have mosquitoes, but also they had really good home-cooked food. So obviously I did bring bug repellent. And while we're on the topic of things to bring, make sure you pack deodorant. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So every morning at the campsite, the leader or the pastor would lead us through putting physically on the armor of God. We would eat breakfast on the bus, and then for lunch we would eat that at the second school. I would say in general the mission trip can be tiring because you do use up a lot of your energy in the first school, and then you only get a short break, and then you have to repeat all of that energy at the second school. So sleep is very important, and I know that it's important to keep a healthy bedtime. It might be tempting to stay up and socialize, but for God, you do want to give 100% every day. You don't want to be too tired. On the last day, though, that's a different story. So I also know that this year there's only 1 week of the mission trip. When I went, there were 2 weeks, and I did participate in both. On the second week, we didn't have a teacher to lead the morning dance, so I had to do that with Joanna in front of the students, like with the mic. But before that, we also had to teach all the teachers, like from Taiwan, from the US, from Hong Kong even. So in the beginning, I felt really unprepared, but at the end, it turned out to be a really great leadership experience. So that was a really nice opportunity for me. Lastly, I would say don't forget to thank your church leaders and the Taiwan churches for their hospitality and for the leadership in general for organizing and putting all of this together. Being grateful is important, and I would say that being ungrateful is when the devil puts doubts into your thoughts. So remember to pray. Pray for the leadership, the leaders, the schools, the students. Pray for yourself, pray for everything. Lots of prayer every day. And reflect on the reason why you are going on the mission trip, to let God's name be glorified and to spread the gospel to all the peoples of the earth. So I hope you all have an amazing time, and I wish I could be there with you this year, but I'll be praying for you all. Peace.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, yes, that's what a school leader would have to do. I want to, kind of like my background is I was born in Hong Kong, and I came here for high school. So there's a lot of culture that I kind of forget, after a while. But I can call myself American because, there's still certain things I retain. But Hong Kong culture and Taiwan culture are very different. So I started going to the Taiwan mission trip in 2017 as a teaching leader because of my kid. I want our kid in America are very privileged, so I want them to expose them to different areas to see other worlds so that they could, understand what's going on. Being a teacher, I feel like it's much easier than being a school leader. Because being a school leader actually is a totally different thing. So as a school leader, we act as a liaison, between you guys, and the school, the principal, the teachers, and we deal with a lot of logistic and administrative things that you guys don't see. The thing that challenged me the most is I don't understand the term that a lot of the teachers were using. Because like the 校务处, 学务处, I don't know the difference. And the first time they said, just go there. I'm like, sorry, I know all the words. I just don't know the difference, because it's something that I didn't experience when I was young in Hong Kong. So, but the most important things as a school leader is that, I'm serving you guys. Even though I'm coordinating all these things, actually you guys are my target group. Every day we would actually observe how you guys are doing. How are you feeling? Are you down? Are you sick? And like even if you're supplying everything, I always have carry extra. So at some point, I actually wish I'm like the cartoon character Doraemon. Do you guys know? Or some of us may know this as 小叮当. I wish I had that little treasure pocket. So it's like, what, you need this? I bring it out. But the most powerful things that I've experienced is that, when you guys are in the classroom, we actually go outside, walking in each of the corridor, and we pray for you guys. And then we will end, sometimes we'll go into the classroom to don't think us we are like monitoring you, are you doing this right or not? We are there to experience with you guys. I remember one time that changed my whole thinking is that during the shared day, this leader was sharing And there was this girl that she was so tough. And you hear a lot of these type of stories. The girl was so tough that she didn't want to talk, she didn't want to interact. But as soon as the teacher, you guys, share your testimony, she broke down. And the whole classroom was crying, and they were hugging her. You know, that was powerful. You see how God using you guys to change the realm over there. So that's the thing is, even without you guys knowing, you would change. From day 1 to day 5, you know, this is what I want parents to experience too. When you see your glow, how Taiwan, you know, get to you deep into your heart. You know, that's what I keep on, you know, coming back. Too bad COVID kind of stopped us. But then also the other thing is that, you know, don't undermine your effort. Even though you cannot speak, okay? Truly, Corey is my son. He cannot speak because we speak Cantonese at home, but even his Cantonese, leave it down. But he and Ian, the whole time they were smiling, almost like giggling, like, you know. And we were like, oh, you guys must be happy. They're, But actually, they were just like, didn't know what to do. But yet they you know, really overcome that obstacle. And then they actually, when they share, if you were there to hear them, both of them share how they have that bondage. It's in the night market, they were just like hanging out, going around and things like that. You wouldn't expect that, but it happened. So that interaction between leaders, the interaction between you and the students, and even you guys give us the opportunity to interact with the kids. You know, I'll be going around, but sometimes during recess time, you know, we see some girls, like, you know, she was like by herself. I just go out there, it's like, you know, give her a little hug. It's like, how are you doing? And then they were just like, next day, the same thing. But then after a while, they would share their story. You know, you kind of want to make, you know, use the opportunity to share, you know, God's love, right? That's the greatest commandment and greatest commission. So, just want you to know that you're not alone. We are there to serve you. You know, anything happen, I will step in. You guys need bandage? I should have it. You guys, you know, all your bento boxes, the trash, you know, we have to categorize them, you know, and then bring it in to become the steward, you know, to the school and the environment and everything. But also, you know, if you feel down, you're sick, our whole team, our whole bus, even the bus driver, is all, you know, an opportunity for us to be together, to learn together, to pray together. So with that, you know, even with the bus driver, some of them are not believer, they're non-believer, but we get to share with them. So that's what, you know, any opportunity is an opportunity for you guys, because you guys are all ambassadors, right? And prayer is powerful. So, and always that smile, that energy, you know, if you guys feel sick or anything, we could step in. So that's what we would go in there, you know, take a picture, video. Your moment is being captured by us as much as possible. So that's what, you know, sometimes you see pictures like, I didn't remember seeing that, but yeah, we were behind the scene, you know, capturing that. So, yeah, but let you guys know that I'm here to serve you guys. And if there's anything you guys want us to do, you know, let us know. And because we're in this together and we want to, you know, be good God army, right? So by ourselves, we are alone. But if we hold hands together, we could form a wall and we could counter the spirit realm. Because it's true, it's real, it's out there. You will be tired, you'll be exhausted. The heat will get to you, you know. And unfortunately, the water dispenser at the school is all hot water. So for me, that was shocking too. It's like, you know, but this is something that you adapt to. You learn the culture, you know. So this is one thing that I really appreciate, the opportunity to being given, that I could learn to adapt to the culture, and knowingly that each missionary, what they are going through, because they have to enter into the community and be with the community and for the community. And at that point, you must adapt to their culture and not like, oh, I'm used to this, I need to do that. No, we just have to change to adapt to that. So, but yeah, if I'm able to serve you guys, you know, and even not serving you guys, I'll pray for you guys. But you know, serving with you guys, remember that I'm with you guys. Anything, just let us know. Thank you.
Okay, so each of you will have a school leader. So if there are any problems, anything that you need, like Band-Aid or any situation in the classroom, you always reach out to the school leader. Everybody has a school leader. In the morning, there's a school leader. In the afternoon, there's another school leader. Okay? So that's really important that you reach out, that you talk, you share. Don't be shy because spiritual warfare is real. Okay? Great. So next what we're going to have is Uncle Alan is going to make some more announcements. It's really important because this is our last meeting. So you need to take notes. You need to make sure that you take into your heart everything that needs to be happening, okay, in the next few times. And then also after Uncle Alan sharing, because there's so many of you here today, we're going to take another group picture, okay? So we're going to all go outside and take another group picture.
Hello, everybody.
Next one.
Hi. Before I sharing,